us talk mental health. Let us talk mental health. What is mental health, anyways? I mean, many a times, yes, we do come across people asking. I'll speak for myself that, hey, how's your health? How is it going? And when I say that, oh, great, couldn't be better. I mean, I sometimes feel that maybe physical health I said, but I may not be feeling well, really, from my mind, or I may be going through some emotions. But is that what overall health means? In my, if you ask me, overall health for me is my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, my spiritual health is what overall health and being healthy is what I believe in. And my special guest today also believes in having an overall health, especially when our mental health is also being taken care of. Without much ado, I would love to have my special guest, Anu Vittal, who's in the waiting lounge, and I'm going to invite her to the live studio. There Anu is. Hi, Anu.
Hi, Trisha. So lovely to see you. Thank you for having me on the show. And such a relevant and important topic, especially in our current scenario, what we call the new normal, which is really turning out to be an everyday newness that we need to sort of include into our mind, body, and soul system to be able to function, like you said, in wellness and in a healthy state, both mentally and physically.
Absolutely. I asked you for a brief bio. Although Anu, we've been friends for quite some time, and through one of the women empowerment program that two of us met in, I believe, 2016. But our friendship has been continuing, and I really appreciate all the work that you do. So your brief bio is so interesting that I feel so proud even sharing with all our viewers. Anu is a loving humanitarian, a dream catcher, a serial entrepreneur, award-winning artist, and culture connector. Wait, there's more, and I love it. She's also a life coach, hypnotherapist, and an intuitive healer. She is on a journey to create a legacy of happiness for humanity. Amazing. Amazing. Yes, that is exactly how I have known you for so many years, and more. You've been doing more, Anu. This is amazing. So Anu, I'm a mother, and I grew up in India, and I mental health, I mean, never ever thought that it could be a separate topic, or like a topic to talk about, because anytime in India when I was growing up, I mean, of course, going through different kind of emotions, and anytime would be sad or didn't feel like opening up or talking to anyone, and amidst family or extended family, relatives, family, friends, it would just be ignored, and okay, and then we would be back to our regular grind. But after moving to USA many years ago, and it still continued. However, it was only when I became a mother, and I started going through a lot of different kind of experiences, starting from when my first child was born, and then the second, and every time something happened, and I just used to feel that, I would just remain within my shell and not talk, and so things like that happened. And until my daughters, when my children went into their growing period, starting from single digit numbers to teenagers, and and the same, perhaps the same kind of experience I was seeing in them. Somewhere I felt that, I'm feeling helpless. They're not talking, they're sad, or I did not understand what was going on. So that's when I thought that, okay, is there something that we should talk? I should find out what's going on, and or should I be just like the typical Indian parenting that I have seen, or surrounding in India while I was growing up, that I'll just say, oh, it's just a phase, just move on. But the sadness grew. So, and
I'm so glad you're sharing this, Trisha. As a mother, I think it's such an integral muscle that we need to develop. I often talk about aerobics for the body, neurobics for the brain. And so also the brain is a muscle that you can train and retrain at every stage in our life. And as we grow and evolve from childhood to parenthood or adulthood or the various phases as working professionals, we go through so many different exterior environment changes that it's so important to be able to keep your internal environment in a peaceful and calm manner. Because if you look at history, whether it's the Crusades or the invasions, the wars, the Great Depression, the earthquakes, and various other elements that have affected humanity, the one thing that has kept everyone sane or in a state of equanimity in those specific persons who were able to bring some, conditioning of the environmental external forces into a normalcy phase, like even what we're going through now, have been those people who've had equanimity from within and been able to then sort of react and respond in the right manner. So like they always say, many things can happen to you. It's always how you react and respond that eventually brings out the results that you need. So this is a critical time. If you look at what happened a couple of days ago in Texas, and they do say that the person who did this was mentally unwell. It is such an integral dialogue that we are having today, and I wish more and more people would bring mental wellness into the mainstream of education in schools and universities, so that that is a muscle that is formed for especially young growing up children to teenagers, so that by the time they reach adulthood, they understand that the chaos outside doesn't have to affect them internally, and that from a state of equanimity, they can balance their life and be able to respond and react in a way that they can do well both mentally and physically in everyday life.
This is amazing what you just said. I'd like to once again go over that. You said that the external, the outdoor, the outside chaos does not have to affect you, your inside, right? This is, that is what is all about. As I was saying, that while my children were growing up, and I was learning, I was willing to learn after a while as to what is going on in their life. And maybe I was not listening earlier, but I wanted to learn through their growing up times of the emotional backseat that they were taking. They were sad, or maybe I was trying to listen to them. And when I realized that we started talking to each other about what was going on in their mind, and when I was actually coming to know of an existence of a different realm altogether within their mind, which they were not comfortable. They were fighting within, and which I had no clue about. For example, I'll just give an example of my older one, growing up through her teen years, when I have gone through confusion, like who am I, and what's my identity, things like these. But it worked out well in India. But here, everybody was questioning. And perhaps somewhere my older child had, maybe somewhere she felt that Ma would not understand these kind of questions. So she never came to me until I started noticing that the happiness was not there.
Yeah.
Everything was going on.
It's interesting that you share this because it's none of us are perfect. None of us have learned this, and we are still in a journey to evolve as we go forward. And the funny thing is that uh, we as children only learn what we were taught by our caregivers, whether it's our parents, grandparents, nanny, school teachers, and they also came from a belief system and they only know what they know. And then that has expanded it wonderfully with technology in terms of connecting us to so many resources in the present day. But like you shared earlier, that is so true that as we evolve, we can only lend that much. But there are so many experts who are specialized in this area, whether it's psychotherapists, psychologists, coaches, healers, and they can provide a lot more structured guidance towards more mindful matters and behaviors and practices. Because just like lifting a muscle in the gym, this is about training your brain on a regular basis. So the more we as parents also invest time, money and effort into enhancing our own spiritual growth, if you want to call it that, or mindful practices, we are able to give more to our children. And eventually it's all a journey. Even the experts are limited to some extent, though they have trained extensively. But the changing conditions, for example, the COVID situation, though we had the Spanish flu many years ago, 100 years plus, it's something still new that we are learning to deal with. But the amount of knowledge that they have is so significant that it can allow for the expansion of the mind to absorb those mechanisms, if you want to call them that, and use those. For example, there is a very simple technique when people get stressed, and sometimes you tend to do it naturally, and then children learn from their parents. I remember my dad, when he was stressed about something, he would always do this, and I never really understood why, because he was writing something down and then he would stop and then he would do this. So apparently this, I learned from a psychotherapist, is actually a very cooling the mind kind of a relaxing thing. And you just have to try it for yourself and you'll realize. You also do it to young kids when they're a little bit stressed out, or you give them a hug and say, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. The other thing is to rub the upper part of your shoulders. And what it does is also transform the energy from within for that person going through the anxiety and the pain, because all you're doing is, by the touch, it's almost a way of conducting energy from yourself to that person who's going through it. And it's such a beautiful way to, rub the shoulders or rub this part of a, child or a person going through that difficulty, or ask them to repeat that action themselves when they find themselves in those situations. And so there are several techniques that we can use. And the thing is, the more we use it, the more we practice it, we learn it. And also how you talk to yourself. Talking to yourself compassionately. And after the age of 19, when children become full-grown adults, learning to become their own parents and providing themselves those important loving kindness actions, thoughts, words, and most importantly, feelings, are very, very critical in increasing the vibration, bringing up the positive energy from lower energies like guilt, shame, fear, to even anger, which we call actually a very potential energy, because either you can go up using the anger into acceptance, willingness, love, and so on, or you can be pulled down. So neurobics for the brain and these kind of mindful practices are extremely helpful. And I know that a lot of work is being done also in Harvard and other universities using the techniques that were practiced way back in India called the Uttak Betak, where you hold your left earlobe with your uh, right, and then the other way around, and then you sit up and down about 9 times so that you balance out the energies inside your body, and it just raises the vibration and it really conducts a positive aura, so you feel better and also people around you start feeling better.
Wow, that's amazing. Never knew Uttak Batak
It's
had
called
such
super brain power yoga.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. This is so beautiful. I also wanted to. So here is the thing, Anu. So I'm a simple mom, but the interesting thing is about me being a simple mom is also that I'm a broadcaster, and it puts when you are on a platform. I'm a radio talk host, and do things with my voice, podcast, and other things. So when you are using such platform, it puts it's like a self-set mission. You're on a mission, and you have to be. It puts so much of extra added responsibility on you to convey a message. I hear from many of my listeners, my viewers, about they want to. Everybody has a story. Everyone, I feel that everybody, something is going on in everyone's mind, and I also believe, Anu, that one time or the other, or sometime or the other, we all have either gone through or are going through mental health related issues, right?
Very
So
true.
when so I was extremely happy when you came and you said that, Trisha, let's do this. Let's talk, have a talk on mental health, which is, of course, which is the talk of the hour, which is the need of the hour, and everybody should. So that I thought, wow, this is amazing. We should use these platforms. And with your expertise, I'm already so impressed with especially some of the tips you already shared. I'm expecting that since we plan to have a series, this podcast series. What do you I'm expecting a lot more interesting way to interact with our viewers. What do you have in mind going for this series? What do you think what is your objective? What do you want to I'd like to know from you your objective.
Well, I'm so glad you invited me to dialogue with you on this. I think it's an integral part of a learning for us, for all those people out there. And I see so many questions coming in from your viewers on this topic, especially for the youth and also parents and many of us who are going through different phases of depression. First and foremost, depression is extremely normal. Everybody goes through it. It can happen for 10 seconds, it can happen for a minute, it can happen for an hour or longer. And it is when it gets chronic that you need to go see a doctor and really figure out the best way forward. But in the shorter phases of life, we have to look at it like a diamond getting a cut. And every diamond gets a cut for a reason so that it can shine better. Mm-hmm. And so using that analogy, I would say that when we go through these short phases of depression and we pick up along this journey through dialogues like what we're having today and other opportunities that we have in our everyday life, whether we're reading something or viewing something or spending maybe 30 minutes in nature, to just spend time doing things that are bringing a balance into our mind, body, soul system, we are creating a window of opportunity to heal and become well and overcome that amount of depression that we're going through. Now, these things that we will learn along this journey of the series that we've started, I feel are integral in learning. But more than that, I feel the interaction with our viewers and answering their most imminent questions of actual life situations that they're facing, whether we have all the answers or we can find the answers from other experts and share, is going to be, I think, the main objective. So I really feel that giving this kind of a service to humanity will ultimately lead to happiness. And when I say happiness, I don't talk about being exuberant all the time, which is fabulous if you can be. But there is always ups and downs. There's day and night. Everything is dual in the world. But allowing for things that not necessarily are what we call the super happiness. I mean, today you go to the movies and then you go out and have dinner and you're super excited. And obviously, you come back home and you've got to study for your exam or you've got to run the dishwasher. And maybe that's not the most pleasant thing. But these are things you've got to keep doing in the mundane, I would say, the roller coaster of life. We must take the ups and the downs. In fact, we should be happier when we're down because we have to go up. How do we balance this? How do we sort of help you train your brain? And how do we do neurobics together? So that will be probably our journey forward.
Amazing. That's really this neurobics that you said. I know you're into calisthenics, yoga, and you are involved in, you like to practice these for your overall health, and not just for your own health, you share as well. So that's the beauty of it. And what I am expecting, Anu, is that, so like I said, that I'm a simple mom, and I just know that, okay, if I have taken that first step in talking to my children and striving to become a better listener, and I see that now they also open up and talk about things that they may not have tried before. And I'm not saying that both sides are have achieved a great feat. We are like done, and now we want to move to the next step. There's a lot to be done. And so what I am expecting is, through your expertise, that we can share how, as you said, happiness for humanity. That is my objective, that we build a community where we are able to, number one, show respect to each other and listen to each other. Listening always does not mean that the other person has to talk. So we can listen through observation and just give a feeling that, hey, I'm there for you. And that could be a mother from the family, any trusted friend, anyone, mother, father, family, relatives, but a trusted somebody coming, willing to listen or be there. And also from the other side, if I put myself in the shoes of someone going through mental health issues or something that I want to share, maybe I'll find a safe space to just be there with that someone. That
You
put
put
in a non-judgmental way.
Nail on the head, absolutely, when you said that, listening without judgment. And like Thich Nhat Hanh always says, holding a place of compassionate love, literally putting a couch and make it a beautiful white couch or a pink couch or any couch of any color of your choice that you like, placing that someone there and allowing them to speak their mind freely without judgment, and actually even saying the words, I'm here for you, or I'm here for you. That itself is sending out a vibration of a very positive energy that allows that person to speak, and you are accepting, and you're almost like that shock absorber in the car that is willing to take the bumps just because you have the capacity. And in allowing for that person to share openly, it really creates a space for them to then expand. And one of the things that we talk about in our work is radical acceptance. It doesn't matter what you've done. And if you allow for that person to speak openly without judgment, they start to radically accept that situation. And then when they start to speak to themselves more kindly, when they start to absorb your positive energy, they start to expand into a space which allows for them to grow and almost take this as a beautiful learning experience, you know, to heal and go to the next step and the next situation in a better way.
Absolutely right. Really couldn't agree more. What I see here is that our collective objective here is that we want to build a community of where we find comfort, like somewhere to fall back on without, there's no judgment. One can be oneself.
True.
And we are just hoping that our viewers would steer us with drive us to continue with their the thoughts that they have in mind, and share their expectations. How would they like to be heard, and how would they like to take this journey together in building this community of comfort and support and encouragement?
I see so many questions coming in. I don't know if we have time for it today, but definitely what you said is so true. Absolutely with you on it. Maybe we can take time to answer these questions in our next episode coming up.
Absolutely. We have to do that, Anu. I cannot thank you enough for, I know you've always been busy, and being busy is also good when you are giving time to yourself. I like that kind of busy part in you, that not only you make sure that you are doing the right things to be happy, and you're also spreading the joy around.
Yep. Just catch me running to the gym. That's something I'm not willing to compromise. My time, so important. And you know this as a mother. That is such a precious time. The more you put the oxygen mask on yourself, the more you are selfish. You can be selfless, because when you fill your cup up, then you can radiate and love everyone else around you even more.
Absolutely right. With that, this was an introduction. We wanted to share what we are going to have in our upcoming episodes, and we would love to have you, that is our viewer, come up with questions. Here is my YouTube channel, Tandoorchats, and Anu, I would like you to share your YouTube channel and also Instagram, so people, our viewers, can connect with you.
Wonderful. So you can find me at Anu Vittal, Vittal, on YouTube, Anu Abstract on Instagram, and on Facebook you can join our group, which is Living Life Inside Out and Right Side Up.
Okay, so we'll have that in our comment box as well for our viewers to connect. And with that, I believe we will say bye-bye to each other, but just the bye to each other, because we want to have this connection going, this energy flowing, because it is not possible to build a community of comfort and support without having the community start with you, me, us.
Correct.
That, Anu, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you.
We'll be back on next Thursday, and it's 3:30 p.m., which is USA, Canada, Eastern Time. And it is GMT, for us, it is GMT -4. Just so that we have viewers from across globe. We will be back. Anu, I cannot thank you enough for your time, and looking forward to see you next week.
Wonderful. Have a GFT, which is a gratefulness filled day. Thank you, Trisha.
GFT, Great.
GFD, gratefulness filled day, for everything we have, for this show and this time together, and for what we've been able to create. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Remember GFD. I actually noted down. I am I am so happy that I've just chosen the right person to be there on this podcast series. Let's talk mental health. Thank you.
Thank you.